On the news, President Buhari launches National Crisis Management Doctrine to tackle insecurity. Wike distances self from suit seeking to disqualify Atiku as PDP presidential candidate. And Nigeria Governors Forum tackles Malami over Paris club refund, says is defending private concerns. Well, many thanks for joining us on News Now. I am Folashade Ogorinde. President Muhammadu Buhari has launched a National Crisis Management Doctrine on Friday in Abuja. The doctrine, he said, would bridge the gap created by extensive deployment of security services through first-stream collaboration amongst ministries, departments and agencies. Speaking at the launch, the president described the feat as a significant milestone in recognition of the need for collective efforts towards achieving coordinated, effective and efficient national crisis management.
The emergence of the Boko Haram terrorists group as well as bandits and kidnappers in Nigeria considerably changed the country's security situation, leaving panic in the minds of the populace. These and other security challenges confronting the nation tend to stretch the deployment of our security agencies, resources, and national security apparatus. Owing to the dynamics of this crisis, the Office of the National Security Advisor revised the National Counter-Terrorism Strategy, which I endorsed in August 2016. Within this strategy are certain work streams which include the prepare and implement strands that seek to mitigate the impact of terrorist attacks by building resilience and redundancies to ensure continuity of business, and a framework for mobilization of coordinated cross-government efforts respectively. I am glad that the Office of the National Security Advisor has not relented in its efforts to implement the National Counter-Terrorism Strategy by coordinating relevant ministries, departments, and agencies to develop the National Crisis Management Doctrine.
In his remarks, the National Security Advisor, Major General Babagana Monguno, retired, explained that work on the doctrine started in 2014, but was given momentum after the president endorsed the revised NAC test, which has 5 work streams to forestall, to secure, identify, prepare, and implement.
The National Counter-Terrorism Strategy outlines 5 work streams, namely forestall, secure, identify, prepare, and implement. The National Crisis Management Doctrine is a subset of the National Counter-Terrorism Strategy, which fulfills the work streams to prepare and to implement. These work streams are aimed at building resilience to mitigate the impact of terrorist attacks and to develop a framework for the mobilization and coordinated cross-governmental efforts. Accordingly, the purpose of the National Crisis Management Doctrine is to provide the framework for multi-agency response to national crisis while fostering collaboration and interoperability.
And now to politics. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has denied filing a suit against the People's Democratic Party, its presidential candidates Atiku Abubakar and Secretary State Governor Aminu Tambuwal. Supporters of Wike are taking Atiku, Tambuwal and the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to court over the conduct of the PDP presidential primary election, which took place in May. Speaking at the commissioning of the House of Assembly quarters in Port Harcourt, Wike said he was focused on delivering the dividends of democracy to the people of Rivers State. Wike lost the party's presidential ticket to Atiku after Tambuwal stepped down for the former vice president and asked his supporters to vote for him.
Let me say, and to let Nigerians know, that people have called me throughout this morning, all kinds of things, that I went to court against Atiku Abubakar. I want to say categorically, if I had reason to go to court, I would go to court. But I didn't go to court. I just have to say it for Nigerians to know I have kept quiet. I'm busy delivering dividends of democracy. For my party to win election in Rivers State, people are busy plotting how they win election. Rather, our people are busy trying to see how they will lose election. If they lose election, nobody should call my name. I have told the candidate, you will lose this election, you will win this election because of people around you. Anybody who knows me knows too well. If I was going to court, I was going to court within 2 weeks after the primaries, because it is a pre-election matter. And after 2 weeks, he can't go to court. The legal advisor of the party called me and told me he knows that there's a mischief going on. That he knows me very well. If I'm going to court, it's not those kind of lawyers I would have used. And I don't even know the lawyers. But I want to tell the candidate, it is the candidate group that are doing all these things.
To speak more on this, political affairs analyst and legal expert Evans Ufeli joins me now. Thank you very much, Evans, for joining us. Now, Governor Wike has since denied reports that he instituted a suit against Atiku Abubakar, Tambuwal and the PDP. But do you think the alleged suit now portrays an impending crisis in the party, that is PDP?
No, it wouldn't have made any headway, because there's no cause of action in the first place in such suit. If he had filed any, even though he came out to say that he has not filed any suit, but assuming but not conceding that he did file a suit in this matter, he would have gone to no issue, because what happened was that Tambuwal at the beginning of the primaries did ask people to vote for him, okay? They all did their campaigns, and at the dying minute, Tambuwal turned around and withdrew from the race and asked his followers or intended voters to vote for Atiku. That is what he did. What Tambuwal did, even though Wike see it as a betrayal, it is more of politics. Tambuwal only withdrew and campaigned for Atiku, okay? Because at the primaries level, there was no bridge as to when you should stop campaign. Okay, so if he had gone to court, first of all, the electorate had said that for you to institute an action as an outburst of a grievance during a pre-election matter, you need to bring such action within 14 days. Now the question is, assuming but not considering that Wike filed a suit, did he file it within 14 days after the primaries was held? That is one. Two, is there a cause of action in that? Did Tambuwal commit an offense, an electoral offense, by withdrawing from the race and then asking people to support Atiku? Is that a crime under our jurisdiction? Three, what would the prayer have been? Wike's prayer, for example, maybe it would have been that because he came second, he ought to have won had it been Tambuwal did not act the way he acted, okay? But then the question would be that the voters were not coerced, were not intimidated, they were not under any kind of tension or coercive tendency to vote for Atiku. So the delegates voted on their own volition. It is not correct to say because Tambuwal asked them to vote for Atiku, therefore they all voted for Atiku. Some of them may not have voted for Atiku, okay? You cannot put a track on who voted for who, when, and how. Okay, and there is no course of action at all. Thank God he has come out to say that he did not even go to court in the first place. Because if he had gone to court, it would have just been an academic exercise where they will take, of course, the court will listen to all issues that come before it. But the truth of the matter is that there was no political or legal infraction in Tambuwal's conduct. It's all about a moral issue. It was a moral issue of betrayal that Wike inferred and the bystander inferred from the conduct of Tambuwal, and not a legal issue. The action did not hit on any cross-legal issue that could be litigated.
Well, indeed, political affairs analyst and legal expert Evan Sufeli, it's definitely, like you said, a political issue, and it's definitely also a watch and see situation. But thank you very much for your time and contribution on News Now. The Nigeria's Governors Forum, NGF, says consultants involved in the controversial $418 million Paris Club refund are using Abubakar Malami, the Attorney General of the Federation, to hustle the state funds. On Thursday, Malami said that the NGF has no basis to reject the proposed deduction of $418 million from the Paris Club refund, adding that the consultants' claims are justified. Reacting to the statement in an interview, Abdulrazik Bello Bakindo, the forum's head of media and public affairs, said the consultants involved in this saga are using the AGF to get the money from the state. He said there was no collective agreement between the consultants and the AGF, and the NGF rather, adding that the forum has requested the consultants to provide evidence of work done. Well, still in politics, the conference 57 chairman Indigbo in APC Lagos State and grassroots support for Tinubu 2023 have called on all its party leaders and leaders of Indigbo in APC state executives to harmonize and be united. Chairman of the group, Chima Davis Ukwandu, said the party should ignore misinformation and misgivings on the part of some individuals and groups springing up to cause confusion in the Indigbo APC political family. He said what should be in the mind of any faithful party man is how to ensure adequate mobilization and maximizing vote returns, and also focus on how to win elections.
We have a structure through our APES leadership. When we have materials, it gets straight to the grassroots. The fight or the noise is to try to distort that arrangement. So it will not end up in the hands of few individuals. And we, as the grassroots, we are saying no. To come and say that this is not right. We have to get it right. Our leaders should also get it right. We should be talking of how to bring our brothers at this point in time to vote for our party APC, which is where we have labored and we are in. We have sacrificed, and we don't wish to be distracted at this point in time. That is our major concern.
We are here to work for our party. We are here to work for our Dagaban, our Swaju, to become the next president of this country. And that is why we are working tirelessly, because Engineer Joy is our leader, and he gives us direction of what to do, and we are following it.
We don't want distraction. We want the party leaders to know that we don't want distraction. This is election period. If anything, if they tamper with the leadership of our two major leaders, it will affect the grassroots. We are not accommodating any distraction from psychophants, from vampires, from wolves in sheep clothing. We don't want them. We are comfortable with Engineer Joy Ibokwe, our APES leader, and Eze Uche Dimba as our coordinator.
In commemoration of the World Breastfeeding Day 2022, the State House Clinic in Asorok Villa has organized an outreach program to educate and sensitize Nigerians on the importance of breastfeeding their young ones. The outreach program focuses on strengthening the capacity of stakeholders who have to protect, promote and support breastfeeding across different levels of society. For more details in this report.
The convenience that breastfeeding brings to mothers as primary caregivers of their babies appears to be the thrust of this sensitization program. Here in Utako village in the FCT, personnel of the State House Clinic in Aso Rock preached the good news of breastfeeding to mothers.
You know, in the past, you will carry one big bag with flask inside. Napkin go there inside. Abi, now napkin we dey use that type, napkin go there inside. Water go there inside because you have a flask of hot water and a bottle of cold water. Then you now have the thin milk inside. Then you now have shovel, you have wrapper, you have is. You are carrying baby and then you are carrying back. You will see the woman looking like one old person. But now, what do you need to do? You only need to package your breast. You understand? And just carry your breast. And anywhere you go to, you will breastfeed your child.
Besides a chance for mothers to bond with their babies, breastfeeding provides a cheaper feeding option as well as improves immunity against breast cancer. For mothers and participants, this is a good bargain.
Most people, because they are busy with the society and other things, they don't find time to sit and relate with the child. So it assists the parents, the mom, to bond with the child. Then economically, it reduces the cost because as it is, if you say you want to buy food, milk and other things, it will affect some things in the family if you're not buoyant enough.
Most time, if the baby is under any kind of tension, we just try to be part of taking care of the baby, making sure that the mother is not confused about what she's been taught in the hospital during the antenatal.
Earlier at the official opening of the outreach program held at the State House Auditorium, the wife of the President, represented by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Administration and Women Affairs, Office of the First Lady, Rukayat Gorin, assured of a commitment towards ensuring that more families accept and adopt the 6 months exclusive breastfeeding for babies.
I call upon stakeholders to step up for breastfeeding, educate, and support. It is observed that the theme encourages mothers to breastfeed, and as stakeholders, we all should rally around to promote this noble cause. The efforts invested in promoting this culture is significant because it helps in mobilizing and encouraging mothers to adopt best practices while nurturing a breastfeeding community for better sensitization and support.
Gorin also pledged to support and promote breastfeeding among women through regular education and sensitization. She also urged fathers, family members and society to always encourage the process. Folashade Ogurinde, TV360 News.
We'll take a break here, but still to come, Sports Minister celebrates fallen hero Sam Okwaraji 33 years after. Details of the story and more right after this break. Welcome back. Now here is a recap of some of our top stories tonight. President Muhammadu Buhari has launched the National Crisis Management Doctrine on Friday in Abuja. The doctrine, he said, would bridge the gap created by extensive deployment of security services through fostering collaboration among ministries, departments and agencies of government. We also told you that Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has denied filing a suit against the People's Democratic Party, its presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar, and Sokoto State Governor Aminu Tambuwal. Supporters of Wike had taken Atiku, Tambuwal and the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to court over the conduct of the PDP presidential primary election, which took place in May. Well, in case you missed any of our news bulletins, so for more updates, do log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we are TV360 Online. Akwa Ibom State is driving Nigeria's latest COVID-19 surge as the Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) confirms 517 additional infections between August 6th and August 11, 2022. The NCDC made this known via its official website on Thursday. The NCDC said that out of the 517 additional infections recorded, Akwa Ibom reported 293 cases, while Lagos State recorded 101. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has loosened many of its recommendations for battling the coronavirus, a strategic shift that puts more of the onus on individuals rather than on schools, businesses and other institutions to limit viral spread. According to the agency, its focus now is on highly vulnerable populations and how to protect them, not on the vast majority of people who at this point have some immunity against the virus and are unlikely to become severely ill. The new recommendations signal that the Biden administration and its medical advisors have decided that lower fatality rates from COVID-19 in a heavily vaccinated population permits a less demanding set of guidelines. We'll take a break here and return with more stories and business. To stay with us.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On TV360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
TV360, dissecting the issues.
Welcome back. Well, up next is business news and stock market review with Mary Kanu. Over to you, Mary.
Thank you, Folashade. Helen, welcome to Business News. President Muhammadu Buhari says entrepreneurs and the business community whose investments align with the priorities of the government in value and job creation will continue to receive the full support of his administration. The president, who received the management of Boa Group at the State House led by the chairman, Abdul Samad Rabiu, said the government's focus on import substitution to encourage local production and export will stimulate growth and stability as he urged investors to take advantage of the vision. President Buhari commended the chairman of Boa Group for concentrating investments in the country and transiting from trade to manufacturing.
I'm impressed and proud of the transformation Boa has made from trading concern to a manufacturing conglomerate. A key pillar of our administration's policy thrust is import substitution, especially when it comes to essential items such as food, household consumables, and shelter. A nation of our size and with our natural and human resources is exhibiting its weakness if it continues importing essential commodities and therefore help in exporting jobs elements. On behalf of the Nigerian government, I want to thank you for your patriotism. Let me assure you that the entire business community, that this government remains ready, willing, and able to support all well-being Nigerian entrepreneurs whose investments align with our import substitution and domestic job creation policies and programs.
We'll take a break now and return with stock market review. The Nigerian equities is far from getting the big close it yearns for, as the market dipped to 0.70% at the close of trading to close the week negative. Now, it's all red for the activity chart, as deals and turnover declined by 5% and 20% respectively. Now, in the aggregate, 106 equities participated in trading, ending with 19 gainers and 24 losers, as Boa Cement came out last with an end-of-day price appreciation at 52.95 kobo per share, as investors continued profit taking. A switch now to silver global market. It's a different story in the US, UK and Asia, as the bulls showed up and took charge. In Asia, stocks rose on Friday following strong gains in the previous session as investors digested the US inflation report. That's why we can see that the Asian stock Nikkei is trading at 2.62%, while in the US and UK, stocks rose on the hope that inflation is peaking, putting the market on track for its fourth positive week in a row. Now, the positive news has boosted investor confidence, leading some to believe that the recent gains are more than a typical bear market rally. Now, that's the stock market report. Folashade is standing by with the latest from the global scene. Folashade.
Well, many thanks, Mary, for that update. And on the foreign scene, Germany has suspended most of its operations in Mali after the local military-led government denied flyover rights to a United Nations peacekeeping mission. According to a spokesman for the German Defense Ministry, the Malian government has once again refused to give flyover rights to a flight planned for today. Mali, with its population of about 20 million, has experienced 3 military coups since 2012 and is considered extremely unstable. Since the most recent coup in May 2021, the country has been led by a military transitional government that is said to maintain close relations with Russia. Well, still in Africa, President Muhammadu Buhari has told the new president of the ECOWAS Commission and his management team that citizens of ECOWAS must directly feel the impact of the organization through people-oriented programs. President Buhari made this known when he received the new president of the ECOWAS Commission, Omar Aliyu Toure, at the presidential villa in Abuja. He further urged the project must include effective advocacy around core issues of concerns to the sub-region.
As the host of the ECOWAS Commission, Nigeria expects that the scrupulous processes that led to your appointments would impact on the fortunes of our organization in terms of efficient and effective service delivery that bears positive impact on the lives of our citizens. Issues of interstate cooperation and collaboration, harmonization of policies, integration of programs, conflict management and security of the sub-region have continued to necessitate the need for our solidarity and collective responses to our common challenges such as climate change, terrorism, health issues, good governance, and sustainability of democracy anchored on rule of law, and ultimately development and progress for our citizens and sub-region.
And in sports, the Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Darius, tasked Nigerian sportsmen and women to emulate the fallen patriot Samuel Okparaji, who slumped to his death exactly 33 years ago. Okwaraji was in action for the senior men's national soccer team, the Green Eagles, as they were called then, in a 1990 World Cup qualifying game against Angola inside the National Stadium in Surulere, Lagos, when he slumped and died. The sports minister added that Nigeria will always remember him for his zeal and service to the country, and sadly the way he died defending our national colors. And that's the size of our news bulletin. Many thanks for watching. I am Folashade Ogurinde. Bye for now.